Every morning when you open your eyes, the world gives you a new opportunity to begin again. The first thing you should tell yourself each morning is that you are alive, and that alone is a gift. No matter what happened yesterday, easy. Today you have another chance to make something better, to change something that wasn't right, or to continue building on something that was. Gratitude is the foundation of all strength. And when you start your day acknowledging life itself as a blessing, you immediately shift your mind toward abundance rather than lack. You are not defined by your mistakes or failures, but by your willingness to rise again and keep going. Life does not demand perfection from you. It only asks that you try with sincerity. So, before you touch your phone or rush into your morning routine, remind yourself that being alive means you have power. The power to act, to think, to feel, to grow, and to choose. Every breath you take is proof that you have purpose. You may not have control over everything that will happen today, but you do control your attitude, your responses, and your focus. Let go of yesterday's stress. Forgive yourself for what didn't go right, and tell yourself, I have a fresh start today. The more you repeat this, the more your mind will begin to believe it. Over time, this daily reminder becomes armor against negativity. You will begin to see problems as challenges and setbacks as lessons. A person who greets each morning with gratitude becomes unshakable, because they understand that every sunrise brings hope. Tell yourself each morning that today is not a burden, but an opportunity, not an obstacle, but an invitation to grow stronger. You are alive for a reason, and that reason unfolds every time you decide to live your day with purpose and gratitude. The second thing you should tell yourself every morning is that you are capable. The world can sometimes make you doubt your worth, comparing you to others who seem to have more success, more beauty, more achievements. But your journey is uniquely yours, and your value does not depend on anyone else's progress. When you wake up, remind yourself that you have overcome so much already. Think about the times you thought you couldn't make it, but did anyway. You are stronger than you realize and more capable than you give yourself credit for. Each challenge you face is a chance to prove your resilience, and every difficulty builds the muscles of your character. The moment you tell yourself, I can handle whatever comes today, you transform fear into focus. Doubt may still whisper, but courage speaks louder when you listen to it. Every skill you have today was once something you didn't know. Every strength you now possess was once a weakness you worked through. So stop underestimating yourself. The simple act of believing in your own ability is what sets your energy in motion. When you start your morning affirming your capability, you send a message to your subconscious mind that you are ready to act, to try, to grow. And the truth is, you are capable of learning anything, adapting to anything, and overcoming anything if you stay committed. Each day is another chance to practice that belief. Tell yourself, I am capable of facing whatever life brings. This small statement builds confidence that grows stronger with repetition. The world responds differently to a person who believes in themselves. Opportunities appear, relationships strengthen, and inner peace deepens. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who never stop believing in their own ability to rise after failure. Every morning, plant that belief deep in your heart and let it shape the way you walk through the day. The third thing you should tell yourself each morning is that you have control over your mind. The world outside is noisy, full of distractions, negativity, and opinions trying to influence how you think and feel. But the calm center of your mind belongs to you alone. When you wake up, take a moment before everything begins and tell yourself, I decide what kind of day this will be. It's not the events of the day that define you, but your interpretation of them. If someone criticizes you, you can choose not to take it personally. If something goes wrong, you can choose to see it as an opportunity to learn. If the day feels heavy, you can choose to focus on what you can control rather than what you can't. This inner control is your greatest strength, and it starts with your first thought of the day. You can either let your thoughts drift toward worry and self-doubt, or you can consciously steer them toward peace and strength. The mind is like a garden. What you plant in the morning will grow throughout the day. Plant thoughts of confidence, gratitude, and calm. The moment you realize that your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your life, everything changes. The world will not always be kind, but your response can always be calm. You don't need to control other people or every situation. You just need to control your own state of mind. Tell yourself every morning, I am the master of my thoughts. That single affirmation builds resilience and emotional clarity. Over time, it creates a shield against anxiety and negativity because you've trained your mind to return to peace no matter what happens. Control of the mind is not about suppression. It's about awareness and choice. You acknowledge what you feel, but you don't let it define your direction. Each day you practice this, your mental strength grows quietly, and you become the calm in the storm. The fourth thing you should tell yourself every morning is that you are in control of your energy and focus. Each day begins as a blank page, and the way you choose to fill it depends entirely on where you direct your attention. Energy flows where focus goes. When you wake up, you can decide whether to give your energy to complaints, stress, and distractions, or to invest it in growth, purpose, and peace. Your focus is your power. The world is filled with noise, social media, and negativity that can easily consume your attention if you let it. But your morning is sacred. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Tell yourself, today I will protect my energy. This means choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and action over excuses. You don't have to engage with every argument, worry about every outcome, or respond to every problem instantly. Some things can wait. Some things deserve silence. Your energy is like currency. If you spend it carelessly, you'll have none left for what truly matters. When you wake up, remind yourself that you are responsible for what you allow into your mind. You can decide to begin your day with a calm breath, gratitude, or a few minutes of stillness. You can decide to focus on solutions instead of problems. The moment you take ownership of your focus, you reclaim your power from the world. You become centered and intentional. You'll notice that when you protect your energy, your day unfolds differently. You attract better thoughts, better emotions, and better outcomes. Life doesn't always get easier, but you get stronger and calmer in how you move through it. Tell yourself every morning, "I focus creates my reality." That affirmation shifts your mindset from reaction to creation. You stop being a passive observer of your life and become the author of it. Every moment is a choice to feed your mind peace or chaos. Choose peace again and again until it becomes your natural state. The fifth thing to tell yourself every morning is that you are enough. In a world that constantly tells you to do more, have more, achieve more, and be more, it's easy to forget that you already are enough as you are. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You don't need to chase validation or compete with anyone's timeline. The morning is the best time to remind yourself of this truth, before the world tries to convince you otherwise. When you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I am enough." Not because you are perfect, but because your worth doesn't depend on perfection. You are a work in progress, and that is beautiful. You may have goals and dreams you haven't reached yet, but that doesn't make you incomplete. You are growing, learning, and evolving, and that's what being alive means. The feeling of not enough is a trap created by comparison. When you measure your life by someone else's journey, you steal joy from your own. But when you tell yourself you are enough, you build confidence from within. This doesn't mean you stop striving for improvement. It means you start striving from a place of self-love, not self-rejection. Every time you affirm your worth, you silence the inner critic that says you're falling behind. You begin to trust your path and timing. You stop rushing and start flowing. You treat yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding. That energy transforms how you speak, work, and connect with others. When you believe you are enough, your presence changes. It becomes calm, steady, and sure. People feel that energy because it comes from self-acceptance, not insecurity. Tell yourself this every morning before the world tries to make you forget. "I am enough, and I will bring my best self into this day." Let that truth settle in your heart until it becomes unshakable. Every morning. Another powerful truth to tell yourself is that everything that happens today is happening for your growth. Not everything will go your way. You might face delays, rejections, misunderstandings, or disappointments. But if you can remind yourself in the morning that every event has a hidden lesson or purpose, you'll move through the day with resilience instead of frustration. Life is not meant to be smooth all the time. It's meant to shape you. The challenges you face are not punishments. They are opportunities to build strength, patience, wisdom, and humility. Tell yourself, "Whatever happens today, I will learn from it." This mindset turns you from a victim of circumstances into a student of life. Even difficult people can become teachers in your story, showing you where you still need to grow emotionally. When you start your day with this thought, you no longer resist discomfort. You embrace it as a stepping stone. Growth often hides in discomfort, and peace often follows acceptance. You begin to understand that pain is temporary, but the lessons are lasting. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift changes everything. It brings calm in chaos and patience in uncertainty. It helps you see life not as something happening against you, but happening for you. Every sunrise brings both opportunities and tests. How you respond defines the outcome. Remind yourself each morning that nothing is wasted. Every experience contributes to your evolution. With that mindset, even setbacks become sacred because they push you toward your potential. Each morning, you should remind yourself that your attitude determines your experience. The way you approach the day shapes what you receive from it. If you start your morning with complaints or frustration, everything you encounter will seem heavier and harder. But when you begin with an attitude of calm optimism, even small problems feel manageable. Tell yourself, I choose to have a good attitude today. That simple decision can transform how you perceive every situation. Attitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing your perspective. You can acknowledge challenges without being consumed by them. You can feel stress without letting it define you. A positive attitude doesn't deny reality. It responds to it with strength and balance. When you begin your day with intentional positivity, you shift your energy to one of openness and receptivity. People respond differently to someone who radiates steady confidence and kindness. Opportunities are more likely to appear because your mindset is attuned to possibility instead of fear. Life will always have unpredictable moments, but your attitude is the constant that keeps you grounded. Tell yourself every morning that your peace will not depend on what happens, but on how you interpret it. You are not powerless. Your reactions are always in your hands. When you walk into the day believing that you can handle it, you naturally begin to attract situations that match that belief. The world mirrors your internal state. So even when things go wrong, a positive attitude helps you recover faster, adapt quicker, and move forward stronger. Start each morning reminding yourself that no one can control your attitude but you. Protect it, nurture it, and use it as your greatest strength. When you approach life with gratitude, patience, and purpose, your day becomes a reflection of that inner light. Another essential truth to tell yourself every morning is that your time is valuable and limited, so you must use it wisely. Each sunrise gives you 24 hours that you will never get back. How you spend them determines the direction of your life. Tell yourself when you wake up, today I will not waste my time on things that don't matter. Time is the most precious resource you have because it cannot be renewed. And every minute spent in negativity, gossip, regret, or distraction is a minute stolen from your growth. The morning is your moment of clarity. It's when your mind is quiet enough to choose what truly deserves your energy. Before the world rushes in, decide what your priorities are. Don't let other people's urgency become your emergency. Tell yourself that your time has meaning. Use it to build habits that make you better, to spend moments with people who bring you peace, and to work on goals that align with your deeper purpose. You don't need to fill every second with activity. Sometimes using time wisely means resting, reflecting, or being still. Wasted time is not just about doing nothing. It's also about doing too much of what doesn't matter. When you value your time, you automatically raise your standards. You stop settling for distractions, toxic relationships, or mindless scrolling that adds no growth. You begin to choose peace over noise, creation over consumption, and progress over procrastination. Tell yourself every morning that your time is your life in motion, and you will not spend it carelessly. The moment you start treating your time with respect, everything else begins to align. Your goals, your relationships, your mindset. Because what you give your time to becomes what you give your life to. Every morning, you should tell yourself that you are responsible for your happiness. It's easy to wait for people, success, or circumstances to make you feel content. But true peace begins within you. The external world will always fluctuate. Some days will be easy. Others will test your patience. If your happiness depends on outside approval or ideal conditions, you'll always be at the mercy of life's ups and downs. So, when you wake up, remind yourself, my happiness is my choice. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending to be happy all the time. It means recognizing that you can create meaning even in difficulty. You can find beauty in small things, the morning light, a quiet moment, or the sound of your own breath. When you decide to take responsibility for your happiness, you stop blaming others for how you feel. You stop expecting the world to change before you can enjoy your life. You begin to focus on what's within your control. Your thoughts, your attitude, and your gratitude. Happiness is not a destination. It's a daily decision. It's the choice to appreciate what you have while still striving for more. It's the practice of finding calm amid chaos and gratitude amid struggle. When you wake up each day and affirm your ownership of happiness, you build emotional freedom. You realize that no one can take your peace unless you hand it over. Tell yourself that you will no longer wait for perfect moments. You will create them. Even a small act of appreciation, like acknowledging the warmth of sunlight or the comfort of a breath, can anchor to you in peace. When you live this truth daily, life becomes lighter, and your heart becomes stronger. Happiness is not something you chase. It's something you cultivate from within. When you open your eyes each morning, tell yourself that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Life is unpredictable, and no one knows what the day will bring. Success or setback, calm or chaos, comfort or challenge. But you are stronger than anything that can happen today. You've faced countless storms before and made it through every single one. That's proof of your resilience. Tell yourself, I can handle it. Those 4 words can change everything. Strength is not about being unshaken by life. It's about standing up again after being knocked down. It's about breathing deeply when things feel uncertain and trusting that you'll find your way forward. Each day will test you in different ways, through people, circumstances, or even your own self-doubt. But you have the inner power to face it all. The mind often underestimates the heart's endurance. You might think you can't go on, and yet you always do. Every morning, remind yourself that strength is already within you. It's not something you need to find, but something you need to awaken. When you affirm your strength, you stop reacting with fear and start responding with purpose. Problems no longer intimidate you, they challenge you to grow. You realize that everything you go through is shaping your character and sharpening your wisdom. Strength is built in silence, in small acts of persistence, in choosing not to give up when things get hard. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to have the courage to take one step at a time. Each sunrise brings a new chance to test your strength and deepen your resilience. When you tell yourself you are strong, your body, mind, and spirit align with that belief. Even when the day doesn't go as planned, that inner voice of strength keeps you steady. You are capable, you are prepared, and you are powerful enough to handle this day. Every morning, remind yourself that your words shape your reality. The way you speak to yourself sets the tone for your entire day. If you start with self-criticism, doubt, and negativity, your actions will reflect that inner dialogue. But if you start with encouragement, faith, and kindness toward yourself, you will move through the day with confidence and clarity. Tell yourself, my words create my world. Language carries energy. It can build or break, heal or harm, motivate or discourage. So, be mindful of how you speak to yourself in the first moments of the day. You are listening, even when no one else is. The words you repeat become beliefs, and your beliefs shape your destiny. Start your day with gentle but powerful affirmations. Say, I am capable, I am growing, I am focused, I am grateful. These statements are not empty, they are seeds. Each repetition waters the mindset you wish to live by. Over time, your inner voice becomes your greatest ally instead of your worst critic. The world can be harsh, but you don't have to be harsh toward yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you love, encouragingly, patiently, and kindly. When challenges arise, your positive self-talk will become a source of strength rather than a spiral of fear. You'll learn to replace thoughts like, I can't, with, I'll try, or, this is too hard, with, this will teach me something. The words you use don't just describe your life, they design it. Every morning is a new conversation with yourself, and that conversation determines how you feel and what you believe is possible. So, choose your words carefully. Start the day by building yourself up, not tearing yourself down. Your voice is the most constant sound in your life. Make sure it speaks with love. Each morning, tell yourself that you are a work in progress, and that is perfectly okay. Growth is not instant. It's a process that unfolds one choice, one moment, and one lesson at a time. Too often, people wake up feeling frustrated with where they are, thinking they should have achieved more or become better by now. But the truth is, progress is rarely visible in the moment. It happens quietly, beneath the surface, through small, consistent actions and a willingness to keep showing up. Tell yourself, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to keep moving forward. This affirmation releases the pressure of perfection and replaces it with the peace of progress. Every mistake you've made was not a failure. It was part of your evolution. Every slow step forward is still a step in the right direction. When you accept yourself as a work in progress, you allow room for patience and compassion. You stop comparing your timeline to others and begin to trust that your path is unfolding as it should. The morning is the best time to reset this mindset before the world overwhelms you with expectations. Tell yourself that growth takes time, effort, and kindness toward yourself. You are learning how to balance, how to let go, how to trust, and how to stay grounded. No one gets it right all the time, and that's what makes you human. What matters most is that you keep showing up, keep learning, and keep trying. Remind yourself that progress doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like struggle, confusion, or discomfort. But those are the exact moments where transformation is happening. The person you are becoming is shaped by the persistence you practice daily. So, every morning, look in the mirror and say, "I am growing." That truth alone is enough. You don't have to have everything figured out to move forward. You just need the courage to begin again today. Each morning, tell yourself that peace is your priority. The world around you can often feel chaotic, filled with noise, urgency, not endless distractions, trying to pull you in different directions. But when you wake up and decide that nothing is more important than your inner peace, you begin to move through life differently. Tell yourself, "I will protect my peace today." This isn't about avoiding challenges or pretending problems don't exist. It's about responding with calm instead of chaos. Peace doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you remain grounded no matter what happens. You cannot control other people's moods, decisions, or actions, but you can always control how you respond. When you begin your morning grounded in peace, you carry that energy with you everywhere you go. It softens your words, steadies your emotions, and gives you the clarity to handle stress gracefully. Is not found in the absence of noise. It's found in the quiet strength of your own awareness. It grows when you take deep breaths before reacting, when you choose silence over arguments, and when you allow things to unfold instead of forcing them. Tell yourself that your peace is too valuable to be traded for anger or anxiety. People may try to pull you into their storms, but you can stay rooted in your calm. This doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. When you protect your peace, you protect your mind, your heart, and your energy. You stop being easily shaken by temporary things. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Every morning, remind yourself that peace is not something you find outside. It's something you cultivate inside. With each new sunrise, choose to nurture it before anything else. Every morning, you should also tell yourself that kindness is your power. The way you treat others and yourself sets the tone for how your day unfolds. The world often rewards ambition and achievement, but true strength is reflected in how gently you move through life while still standing firm in your values. Tell yourself, "I will choose kindness today." Kindness doesn't mean weakness or naivety. It means choosing to act from understanding instead of ego. It's the ability to see beyond your own struggles and recognize that everyone else is fighting silent battles too. When you start your day with a mindset of kindness, your energy changes. You speak softer, listen more, and carry patience into situations that might otherwise frustrate you. Even a small act, a smile, a genuine thank you, a word of encouragement, can shift someone's entire day. And that ripple of goodness often comes back to you in unexpected ways. But kindness is not only external, it must begin with how you treat yourself. Speak to yourself kindly when you make mistakes. Give yourself grace when you fall short. Don't let the inner critic dominate your mornings. Tell yourself that you deserve patience, love, and care from within. When you fill your own heart with kindness, it naturally overflows to others. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more compassion. Every morning, you have the power to bring that compassion into every space you enter. It costs nothing, but changes everything. Choose kindness not because the world is kind, but because you are. That quiet strength is your greatest power, and when practiced daily, it becomes part of who you are. Finally, every morning, tell yourself that today is a gift, and it will never come again. No matter what your schedule looks like, no matter what problems await you, this day is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Once it ends, you can't get it back. So, before you get lost in the rush, pause and breathe in the reality that you are alive right now. Tell yourself, this day matters. Every sunrise brings a chance to begin again, to love more deeply, to live more intentionally, and to appreciate the simple things you often overlook. The sound of the morning air, the light through the window, the quiet moments before the world wakes up. These are reminders that life itself is precious. Too often, people postpone happiness, waiting for perfect conditions before allowing themselves to enjoy life. But joy is not waiting in the future. It's present in the moment you're living now. When you remind yourself that today is a gift, you naturally start treating it like one. You slow down, notice beauty, and live with more gratitude. Even if the day doesn't go as planned, it's still valuable because it's another chance to grow, connect, and experience life fully. Tell yourself that no moment is too small to be meaningful. Every conversation, every laugh, every act of love becomes part of your story. Don't waste the day on worry or regret. You cannot change the past, and the future is uncertain, but you can fully live this moment. When you wake up with gratitude, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every heartbeat is proof that you still have purpose. Tell yourself every morning, I will live this day with gratitude, awareness, and love. Because one day, you'll realize that the small things you cherished were actually the big things all along. Thank you for watching this video.